All right, today I'll talk about MottN's 3D printed ski jig. So this is obviously on the extruded aluminum rail, but everything else is pretty much kind of 3D printed, which has been a very, very wonderful addition to the kind of the home ski setup. I've already, used this, 4 or 5 times actually. It's mounting either my own or my friend's skis, and obviously that's going to save you, $80 a mount basically. So very much has paid for itself in $40 worth of materials. But here, just kind of get us situated. We have the entire mount itself. This one I'm using, I believe, 550 or 600 millimeter rails to kind of get enough boot sole length variability. We also have, left and right, we have our lateral mount, a lateral centering mechanisms over here on these two handles. In the center, we have our, they're movable, the toe and heel pieces that are specific to the specific binding. Today, I'm doing a set of Solomon Warden 11s, and so these ones are both Warden 11s. I 3D printed all of this on a Bamboo Lab A1 Mini with the 180 millimeter bed, and it was fine. It's a definitely a small bed, but it worked fine on like 6 or 7 plates to get everything printed out, and it's been great. The center bit is going to be our the midpoint of our the midpoint of the boot of the BSL total. So this will be a good reference point as well. Yeah. So to start today, some things that I think are really, really helpful. First is going to be a paper template. While you can do this without the paper template, I like having a paper template just because it gives you a lot of security and just making sure that you can verify all the different dimensions. What's also really, really good is a set of digital calipers. I don't know where mine went. Oh, here they are. Which is really, really good for just making sure that, like, say this is a 30 millimeter width between these two mounting holes, for example. I have this here and I can reference it back onto here just to make sure that I have the right toe and heel piece templates for what I'm doing as well, because obviously rather measure twice and only drill once, because $700 skis versus a dollar in PLA is very, very different. And so here we can always use this as a re-reference point from, these ones you can find online from like powder guides, and you can align them and tape them together. All right. The next thing is going to be actually getting the boot situated onto the jig itself, because we're just going to get the boot situated on the jig, lock that all down, and then from there we can move the jig onto the ski. We don't have to do this all at one point. So this one really helps if we just do this a little bit separately. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our boot, and we have the toe and we have the heel. Here I have I have the lines for my 3D printer does not have multicolored AMS, so I just I match the line to what it had on the model. But you can also use the MottN's older designs as well that have the lines protruding, like on this one over here. This one is I kind of just used a paint marker, and that's been good enough for me. But first, we're going to get our boot, and what we want to do is we want to lock down the center part of the jig first. So this one is already locked, and is going to be where I'm going to be centering the toe and the heel piece in reference to. So here, I have my middle marker of the actual boot here, over here, and I can have that reference to that middle marker of the boot. So that's the one that's the half sole total length here. And then once you move these into the right place, so if I loosen these ones over here, I can move each of the toe and heel pieces forward and back in order to get them into the right place. And you'll see here the heel stop is just touching on the back over here, and then the front is going to be just touching over here as well. And you'll see the two front, this white line over here. If I take this out, that's really is going to be the front of the BSL, and this one's going to be the rear of the BSL. So here I have a 305 millimeter BSL boot, and I can recheck that reference as well. So if I take this boot out after locking everything down, so all of these are locked down because I don't really need any more adjustability, I can recheck using a ruler here, and I can check from my markers, and here I have about 304 millimeters of distance, which is, I have to do a little bit of adjusting, so I might move this forward one millimeter to get the right BSL, and then you can double check back with the boot as well, and with your paper template. Once it's all in the right place, then you can lock everything down, because now the jig has been matched to the boot, basically. So I don't need to have the boot on the jig anymore. So we make sure everything is locked down into place, and then now we can actually get the boot into place. The jig into place onto the ski itself. One thing you make sure to do is also make sure that you're pointing in the right direction. Here, the direction is, this is the top of the ski going to my right, and so I'm gonna make sure everything is lined up as well. So the same with the rear one as well. So here, once I pop my ski onto my, my janky mount here, I can pop the jig onto the ski itself. Here, my recommended mount is this line here, where the tape has an edge, and I'll be matching my my midsole, the half sole, to my recommended mount point. And obviously, if you want to move this forward or backwards based on how you ski, or you're adjusting for a different mount, or this is the second mount like it is on my ski over here, then you can move this forward and back kind of however you like. But that's kind of a different conversation around, or specific custom mounts and second mounts, or second or third mounts. Here, once it's locked into place, I want to make sure that these these lateral centering devices are locked into place. And then I can use a spanner, or if you have the knobs, you can also do that too, to really just make sure that they don't back out at all. So I'll go over here and I'll lock these down into place. One thing I also really like to do is grab these plastic clips and really just pop them into place, because these are not going to mar the base or the top of this at all, and they're just going to help me make sure that all the jig is centered in the right place. Now just make sure again that everything here is locked into place, and we have basically our jig ready to drill. Because these are so cheap to produce, the front and mount, I suggest, if you're not using the sleeved versions that MottN has designed, I just use this for a one-time use, basically, because it's not worth $1 in PLA to reuse one of these. Like here, like after a single use, you might see that they're a little bit marred around the edges. It's not really worth $1 in PLA and 4 hours on the printer to just to reuse them, basically, unless you put the sleeves in. But for me, I'm too lazy to put in the sleeves, and so I have it like this. Now I can remove the stoppers. The front and toe stops, and I'm ready to drill, basically. So just make sure that everything here is flat against the ski itself. It's not moving at all in the front, or going front, back, or left or right. Everything is cranked down, it's all tight, and then now I can use my ski drill bit to go here as well. Obviously, since we're saving money by actually having the drill jig, highly recommend spending the $20 on the specific drill bit that has the stopper. Don't drill all the way through. I've definitely done that before. It was not worth the money. And especially if you're drilling a friend's ski like I did, I went through, and to be nice, I reimbursed them for the cost of the ski. So anyways, so once you have this, you can drill your holes, and you can do the whole thing as usual of cleaning out the holes, making sure they're all cleaned out, putting epoxy in them, and mounting your actual bindings, because now you have the holes in the exact right place. And then if you once you want to replicate this mount on another ski, on the other ski, what you can do as well is just get the distance from the rear of the ski. In this case, I have a 455 mil distance from the rear tip of the ski, and I know I just have to replicate it and pop this in the same reference point onto the ski, and then I can drill down exactly where I need to. But basically, that's the entire process of using this ski drill bit mount, this jig, and really big props to MottN for really creating this. It's been a huge help in my garage as well, and has saved me a ton of money. So thank you, MottN. That's how you use it.